Hey there, guitar players. In this lesson, I want to talk to you about improvisation on static harmony. So this is something that I get asked about quite a lot by various students because in today's world as guitar players, one of the things that we're all doing, sitting in rooms, studios, bedrooms, wherever it is around the world, we're using YouTube, putting on backing tracks, and you just want to be able to jam and make good music. So I'm using a jam track at the moment, which is a fusion style A Dorian static harmony backing track. Quite like this, nice and funky. Now what I would get asked by students is, how do you make this sort of stuff, well, how do you play what you play over it so that it doesn't just sound like running up and down scale? So obviously when I'm playing that sort of stuff there, I'm just playing up and down the scale, right? Just with a few different patterns and what have you going in there. So generally speaking, when you're playing up and down scales, like you can do lots of different patterns on them and all that stuff, but they are scale runs, okay? And I like that sort of thing. This comes out like this. That sort of stuff, that works perfectly fine for the kind of music that I like to play. But how can you start jumbling things up a bit to sound a bit more interesting on that static harmony? Well, I use a system that I call the scale pyramid. This is a very, very quick overview of this. But effectively, what I do is I look at whatever the backing track is that I'm playing on. And then, for example, so this is A Dorian. What I will do is I will go back to the parent major scale that this comes from. So A Dorian is the second mode in the key of G major. What I then do, I harmonise that G major scale to see all of the things that live within it that will sound a certain way, give me an effect. So what you'll find is once you've harmonised your scale, you've got a whole host of other options that live within that scale. So your 7 notes is a modal scale, that's your bass, okay? So with A Dorian, that's my 7-note scale, okay? Which sounds like this. Now what I would do is I would extract from that 6-note options, so that's going up another tier of the scale pyramid, 5-note options, which is pentatonics, 4-note options, which are arpeggios, 3-note options, which are triads, and 2-note options, which are intervallic passages. So if I go to the next tier of the scale pyramid and extract a 6-note option, that would be something like a hexatonic scale. So what you do with a minor hexatonic, you don't play the 6th. That will sound like this. So what you've effectively got is your Dorian mode there, with no 6, but you're adding in that 9th. You can also look at this as A minor pentatonic, but adding in the 9th. So if we go up to the next tier of the pyramid, from hexatonics you'll look at pentatonics. Now, one of the things with pentatonics, the obvious one to use would be A minor, which sounds like this. Now, the thing is, when you harmonise the scale, you'll find that there are a number of other pentatonics that live within the scale. So in this key, I've got E minor pentatonic. I've also got B minor pentatonic, which sounds like this. I'm resolving that to an A there. And then you can jumble them up. So A minor, E, B, back to the A, etc. So from pentatonics, you'll go on to arpeggios, 4-note entities. So again, the obvious one is A minor 7. But if you harmonise the scale, you can extract any of the arpeggios that live in there. So let's go to, obviously, from G major, the root arpeggio, G major 7. If I resolve that there to an A, so I'm playing here G major 7. Oops. Into an A on the bottom there. So that's arpeggios. Triads. Well, again, if I stick with the key of G, I could play a G major triad over this. We'll resolve that to an A. So that sounds pretty nice. And you can do that with any of the triads that live within the scale. And then intervals, and one of my favourites, I really like fourths, but I also like thirds. But you can use fifths, you can use sixths, you can use, you can use all sorts of stuff. But that's how I would go about organising my way of improvising on static harmony, is I basically just take the scale and then tear it to shreds. And I combine that with a whole bunch of different techniques, and then, because you can tap your arpeggios, you can sweep your arpeggios, you can play arpeggios inside scale shapes. I mean, there's such a wide array of things that you can do with all of this. I couldn't possibly cover it all in a YouTube video like this. So if you are looking for more help, do visit Cutting Edge Guitar, where you can get digital versions of my books, online courses, and all sorts of other stuff like that, where hopefully I can help you out more. If you are interested in seeing more videos like this on YouTube, please do smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in another video sometime soon. Take care.